Okay, we have our part here, and we want to go ahead and do some feature recognition, auto sequencing on all these holes because it's just too time consuming to pick each individual hole and try to figure out sizes and all the rest of the stuff. So, first thing I'm going to do is get the model in the right orientation for doing this process. Right now, we're kind of out of skew, so I'm going to use face selection, right click the model and get this context window menu. I'm going to go ahead and click on Align Face to CF. It'll go ahead and snap the model in orientation so that now we're normal to that surface for machining. Go to View and say Shrink Wrap Visible. Go ahead and shrink wraps my part uh, to that coordinate system, so now we're in the right plane in which to do machining. I'm going to open up my tools and my CAM system. I'm going to go here to feature recognition, and I'm going to do hole manager, and that opens the hole manager dialog. One of the very first things you want to do is go in here to preferences and set up the type of preferences that you want to do. Do we want a spot-based rough mill, finish mill, so on and so forth, to be able to utilize the information that we gather um, to machine the type of holes that we have. Uh, Most of this is default for drilling, spotting holes out, like in this type of part. The only thing you want to do is check this top clearance here and set that at a value. It's normally set at 0 default, so you're going to want some sort of clearance so you're not dragging your tool through the part kind of thing. So just the preferences, set the preferences up prior to doing your initial AFR run. So then I'm going to take off face selection. I'm going to select the whole model. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say run auto feature recognition. That's going to run through the model, determine what types of holes we have, through holes, blind holes, chamfer sizes, angles, diameter sizes of all the holes, all that kind of stuff, and gather all the information for each and every individual hole that it sees in the whole model, and it's obviously assigned the coordinate system with those. This particular part has some side holes in it as well as all the holes across the top that we were looking at. So now we have our auto feature recognition has been run. If I unhighlight the model here, you can see that we have a coordinate point for each one and an identification for each one of the holes that's in the model. And that's gone through and determined all of that. So now what we need to do is, you can see up here we have all the various information for the holes, bottom adjust, all the stuff from the preference page if you want to adjust off the bottom because these are going to be tapped holes. You want to go back and tap them afterwards, so on and so forth. Anyway, now we have all these holes. Let's go through and do an auto group of all the similar type holes to create groups to make it easy for the machining purposes. As you can see, we have these various groups selected. If I select a group in the list, it will actually highlight that group on the model. You can see these 12 holes are all similar, the same plane, so on and so forth. Let's pick a big group and let's do some machining. I'm going to pick group 7, and it has 61 holes in it that are all of the same flavor, chamfer, and so on and so forth. And I'm just going to do an auto wizard. It'll go ahead and go through and pick out tools appropriate to the particular hole, create processes, and then go ahead and build the operations based off of those processes, all in an automated feature. And as you can see, we've got 2 done operations over here. So now we can just go ahead and run a cut part render on this part and give an idea of what we've accomplished. And go through the spotting all the holes. slotted. That's going to come through and start drilling them all. And there you have it in a nutshell. Pretty quick, pretty simple. Works pretty well on most everything. And the nice thing about it is that you can come out of here and we can always come back to the operation and tweak this if you don't like the particular tool size or tool specification that I brought out, like always with Gibbs Cam. You can come in here and manually override all this stuff just by clicking on the operation itself. You can come in here and adjust speeds and speeds, actual size of the diameter of the chamfer if you want. Using helicoils and whatnot, you can change the if the hole in the model need to be a different size because they're going to put helicoils in them or whatever. You can obviously change the drill size and then just rerun the process. It's going to have all of these holes selected, and you can update and manually override very quickly the auto sequence. Hope that helps and clarifies some of the hole manager info.